Terence Bud Crawford has reached the mountaintop. Yeah, your boy is out of here. Now, if you've been a Terence Bud Crawford hater or detractor over the last few years, it was always common to hear the fact that Terence Bud Crawford can't sell. And why was that? Of course, it was him picking the wrong promotional team in the top rank. I do believe he has to take some responsibility for putting his career in the hands of the wrong people. I also felt like Bud was never extremely verbal. He was always the type to allow his fist to do the talking, and it was not a very transparent type of personality. It wasn't. He never tried to take a page out of Floyd's book, and maybe make himself the villain. He never had any real antics, and like I always tell you guys, for those of you who have been following me from for a while, I always say 50% of the sport of boxing is selling yourself. If you ever want to reach a certain level amongst the casual fans, they have to remember you for something. And Bud was just never able to do that. He's always just used his talent to, make strides in the sport of boxing. But now, with this mega fight versus Earl Spence Jr., he's been exposed to that casual fan base that has eluded him for so long, right? This is why he couldn't sell fights. He was relatively unknown. They didn't know who Bud Crawford was. When you heard the name Terence Crawford, you had no idea who that was. It was a question mark in your head, and you really didn't care. You didn't get to witness the greatness. You only heard whispers about it because you couldn't put a face to the name for a lot of people. But again, now Bud has reached that mountaintop. He has been exposed to this audience, and he has to try and capitalize on that some way, somehow. Now, if you ask me, at 147, where he just became undisputed at, there's nobody that you can name to me outside of a Jerron Boots Ennis who deserves a title shot more. Boots is the only guy that's left. Now, if Bud wants to do the rematch, or if Spence wants to do the rematch, and it would be at 154, how much sense does that make for Bud and Spence? Because at 154, there's no undisputed on the line. That takes away from it. It's intriguing to see how they both would respond at a different weight class, but the element of undisputed is out of the air. Plus, this was a one-sided ass whooping, so people would expect more than likely the same outcome because it was just that much disparity in the skill sets, right? So if that fight don't happen, if this rematch don't happen, I could completely understand that. If you look at some of the polls across the internet right now, everybody's saying that, we wouldn't want to see it again. So if it doesn't happen, Jermell Charlo has Canelo Alvarez. He's going to be busy. That's the next really big fight for Terence Bud Crawford. But in the meantime, if he wants to fight again this year, who could he potentially fight against to capitalize on his newfound popularity, right? Now that Bud has this new audience, all right, this new batch of casuals who, for the very first time, is paying him any kind of attention. I seen a little spike in his Instagram followers as well. He just hit 1 million, I believe. So who could do that? I definitely need y'all to get in the comment section, because listen, I do believe Jerron Boots Ennis is up next. He deserves his shot. But for Bud Crawford, is that going to be a big enough name to capitalize on the newfound popularity? Does it have to be a Keith Thurman, somebody that pretty much everybody knows, who's been inactive, but also knows how to sell a fight? I can't for the life of me see anybody. I'm trying to think of somebody outside of a Keith Thurman where you could say, all right, this guy brings something to the table, and we could make a big fight and continue that momentum for Bud Crawford, and continue to showcase Bud Crawford in front of all of these newfound fans, casual fans. But I love the Jerron Boots in this fight, because again, and it sucks, and it reminds me a lot of Bud Crawford when he was at 147 with no belt, outside looking in, and nobody wanted to fight him. It's the same exact thing with Jerron Boots Ennis. He has not been able to secure a fight with none of these top guys. So people are going to continue to poke holes at his resume, say he hasn't fought anybody, say that he isn't ready for somebody like a Bud Crawford, when in fact they're 26 years old with over 30 fights and none of the top guys willing to get in the ring with him. You've had champions. Look at Devin Haney. Look at Floyd Mayweather. Look at Terence Crawford. Look at so many guys. I don't want to say Earl Spence, but around that age, look at how many champions. Look at how many people have become champion before the age of 26 years old. You know what I mean? Like Tank Davis. I mean, you just got so many guys who have become champion before 26. And if Jerron Boots Ennis isn't ready now, he might not never be ready. You know what I mean? You can definitely say that he has a fluffed resume or record, but it was some tough competition in there as well. I mean, especially with the Lipinets fight and just this recent Roy Manvilla fight. I really thought Roy Manvilla, and I think a lot of people agree with me, felt like that was going to be an extremely tough task, and he made it look easy, a lot like Bud and his Earl Spence fight. You know what I'm saying? So look at Inoue Fulton. You know, it looks great on paper, but these guys made it look easy. And I'm just saying that, you know, Boots Ennis is just that good, and I think he deserves to be there. But I understand the business part of it, where, you know, Bud has to capitalize on this moment, on this kind of changing his image and all of this new popularity and all of these new casual fans wanting to see him again and against somebody else who they actually know, and that's going to be the key. All right, you guys let me know what you think in the comment section, man. Big T.O. Heavy Bag. I'm out of here. Talk to him, Roger.
Most motherfuckers don't know shit about boxing.